Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Step Brothers Wrestling Podcast, where we are here. We are queer, and you need to get used to it. I'm here with both my brothers tonight. Down below, I got Dean Rude,
Deuce, what up?
and to my left here, I got a man celebrating a very special day today. Big Country on his birthday. What up,
Toot
bitches?
toot. What
That's
up,
what I was gonna go with.
motherfuckers?
That's what I was gonna lead in with. I was gonna say, big birthday to Colt. Happy birthday. Hope you
Yeah.
chuck a couple of L's with you.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Got my WWE
Always.
sponsored beverage right here. You know, I can drink this on camera because the subject matter. Don't got to blur that bitch out.
Hell yeah.
And boys, let me tell you right now, I'm glad to be back with y'all here this week because this is the first time in a while, in a long while, I feel like we actually got some fucking shit to talk about because I know next week is really the big one. You know, we are 4 days away from the premiere, 3 days away, actually. I don't know how to math. From the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw, which is what we've all been waiting for. You know, that WrestleMania caliber event, the thing they've been talking up for a year now?
Literally a year.
But I will say, despite the fact that we are yet to premiere on Netflix, this week really felt like a season premiere of sorts. From Raw to SmackDown, it finally feels like we're cooking with gas again.
I'm going to interrupt just a hair.
Okay.
Raw this week was pretty emotional for a lot of reasons, and it felt more like a season finale to me.
Honestly, yeah. I can
It's
see
the
that.
end of an era. It's the
My
end
whole
of an era.
childhood, bro.
Yeah,
They've
my
been
whole
on
fucking
USA
life.
for 25 years, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's more than that. I did the math the other day. I can't remember how many episodes it was, but it turned out to be over 27 or 28 years. I think it was like closer to 30 years.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Like,
But it's a long time.
92.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's been for fucking ever. You know, math
Forever.
is
It's literally been an entire generation.
Yeah. And even bigger than that, I mean, even bigger than the fact that they're leaving the network that they've been on. I mean, they're leaving network TV in general.
Television. Yeah.
Yeah. This is uncharted territory for pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, people smarter than us and more involved than us went in and made this decision. You know, obviously, it's a very lucrative deal for them.
Yep.
But really and truly, like, this was the end of an era.
Mm-hmm.
And while I definitely understand your perspective about it being a season finale, and I don't think you're wrong. Howdy, Brad. What's going on, brother?
What's
up, Bradley?
In a lot of ways, you know, it felt like not only the end of something, but the beginning of something else.
Oh man, the beginning of something that's going to be absolutely killer,
and
no doubt.
Really, we have transitioned from. And again, I said this the last time we did the podcast. Hell, I probably said that a lot this year. But, it felt like we went through a down period, which, again, completely understandable. Under Triple H, it's my understanding that the superstars get to spend a lot more time with their families around the holidays.
You get that rest, man.
Yeah.
That rest and family time.
They're not out there running the house show circuit. We got a few pre-taped episodes.
Bro, they're not having any house shows until March.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, the talent's happy. That's why we're getting fire-ass promos, bro. That's why we're getting fire-ass events, because they're happy. They're fucking chilled.
They're
ready to go.
Great fucking episode of Raw to get to watch, for sure.
Absolutely. But, man, you know, it really does feel like we're building towards things. We're progressing in things. I want to say our first segment that we got on Raw, if I'm remembering correctly, guys, forgive me, it's been a few days. First thing I remember, at least, was, you know, New Day coming out.
New Day sucks.
Yeah, New Day
does suck.
Fucking bunch of assholes.
I hope Big E comes back and whoops their asses.
Bro, even Dom thought he was an ass. They were assholes.
Oh, even Dom said, "Oh, you're an asshole. You did what to me?"
Like,
Tom Selleck wishes.
He's like, I don't even like Big E, but that's crazy.
Looking like a broke ass Tom Selleck.
I look better than Tom Selleck.
Jesus Christ.
Dirty Dom. And you know, I'm gonna detour a little bit, you know, just to highlight, even though that was last week, we didn't get to talk about it. Dirty Dom has really come into his own. And
dude, That motherfucker's got so much heat still.
Motherfucker's got a lot of charisma. He knows what the fuck he's doing, and he's killing it. But that's besides the point, because he is just like everybody else. Never did I think Dominic Mysterio would be like everybody else, but we are all in agreement with Dom that New Day fucking sucks.
They do suck, bro.
Xavier and Kofi are a couple of fucking assholes. I don't like them, and I'm tired of this shit. 1 second.
Where are you going, goddammit?
I think his cat got on the loose. Oh, look, there it is. There it goes. Got a runner.
She's jumping all over places. She knows I don't allow her to jump because she knows I can't get up and fucking stop her ass.
Brad, you're 100% correct. He does play that heat so well. Like, he just feeds into it, you know, like he does. His character work is based off the heat. You know, when he starts talking, they start booing, he gets frustrated, and it just builds. And it's perfect.
And what's crazy is the New Day stole his fucking heat from him.
They did, bro. They did.
They can't even say anything on the mic. Bro, they had to get Jey Uso to come out to try to, like, calm the crowd.
That didn't even work. Jey Uso basically told everybody to shut the fuck up, and they were like, nah, fuck the New Day.
It's like they still suck. Like, the New Day sucks. That's what they still told Jey.
And never in a million years. Like, if you would have told me 6 months ago, hey, Kofi and X are going heel, I would have been like, no, they're not. That's stupid.
No, they're not.
Doesn't make sense. Why would they?
They can't go heel. The fans will never buy that shit. What are they going to do?
It's like they wouldn't make a reaction if they did that.
Turns out they can be the biggest fucking pricks on God's green earth.
Right.
I mean, all it took was them talking shit to Big E.
And the magnitude of shit they talked to Big E.
He had a broken neck.
I will never forget in my life. Kurt Angle had a broken neck and he came back.
Stone Cold had a broken neck and came back.
Like, goddamn.
Edge had a broken neck and came back.
He came back to Scope, though. So did he really come back?
Man, that's terrible right there.
I can't believe I wasted my time even highlighting that bullshit. Moving on, back to the New Day, who fucking sucks.
They still suck.
You know, they've had shit talked to them by Dirty Dom. They've had shit talked to him by CM Punk. They've had shit talked to him by Jey Uso.
Rey
Mysterio.
Whoop-de-doo, though.
Yeah, whoop-de fucking
Your camera froze at like the best fucking time. You were doing that fucking face. Oh shit, that was great.
Goddamn, I'm with you on this one, Mike. I want this desperately. Yeah. I want this to lead to something with Big E, and Big E's going to be there next week. They've already announced that.
And he had the show too now.
What a better time.
That motherfucker's coming back, bro.
What a better time to drop that on us, too, than on the Netflix premiere. I mean, man.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense as a fan and as a mark like us. It makes perfect sense.
And, you know, realistically,
I don't
want to get my hopes up too much because
at
the end of the day, you know, what he dealt with was very serious. Very, very serious.
Freaking Ridge Holland.
Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, might not come back from something like this. And I don't want to be too quick to say that, yeah, Big E's coming back, but you're absolutely right. Man, as a mark, what else are they setting up for? You know, what else?
Brad makes a good point because all of us thought the same thing when that fucking New Day celebration was going on.
Oh yeah, dude. I thought
weeks ago that I completely was like X and Kofi are going to turn on each other and this is going to be a bloodbath. I had no expectation of Big E coming out and them saying "fuck you."
I think Triple H was like, you know what? We're gonna have the 10th year anniversary. Let's fucking twist this shit around for everybody.
Do it.
No, brilliant thinking. Brilliant thinking.
Seriously, and that's something that only Triple H could think of. Because if it would have been Vince,
no,
wouldn't have even celebrated the 10 years.
Like what we're thinking is what he would have done.
Exactly.
Or he would have made it worse. He would have made
he would have made it worse. He would have made it worse.
Yeah.
So,
but
thank God that geriatric fuck is not putting his liver spotted hands in
all over
that was somebody's favorite though.
Saint.
Yes.
That was Rollins. That's his favorite. Vince's favorite.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to spend some time talking about that. But,
Just throwing points in there.
Moving on from the New Day, who sucks, because realistically, at the end of the day, we've kind of gotten the same thing every week. We've gotten people talking shit to them, telling them what fucking pieces of shit they are. We've got the crowd kind of doing their thing, but we're clearly building to something. And we're going to find out exactly what that something is next week. One thing that kind of has been building for a while, maybe staying a little bit stagnant, but we finally got something out of it this week. We got Chad Gable fighting Otis, American Made on one end, Alpha Academy on the other.
And you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit. Well, no, I guess you're. No, I mean, that match happened first.
Yeah,
that match happened first.
Yeah, and that was a good match. I mean,
I'm not going to complain about it.
At this point in the story, I don't know what we're really expecting. What I will say, however, it's good, in my opinion at least, to give Chad Gable a victory. Chad Gable, in my opinion, over the past year, he's had a hell of a lot of character development.
Yeah.
But every step of the way, he's gotten his ass kicked. He got his ass kicked by Sami Zayn. He got his ass kicked by Gunther. He got his ass kicked by the Wyatt Six. Ultimately, it doesn't mean much for him to beat Otis in the Alpha Academy, but one thing has been consistent with Gable. He's been putting on really strong matches, really, really good performances, and this was no different. It was a little fucky, you know. We had interference on both sides. We had the two teams fighting each other. But, you know, Otis got to show off a lot of his ring work. To me, Otis is someone who...
We haven't seen that ring work since he was with Heavy Machinery and Tucker was there.
Man, that shit was good right there.
Otis,
I miss Heavy Machinery, man.
Taki! To me, Otis's ring work gets overlooked a lot just because he's booked really comedically. And, I mean, obviously, I think that's his strongest suit. I think the role he plays extremely well. But I do think it causes people to forget how good and athletic this man really is. And if nothing else, I'm really glad that these two got to showcase how fucking good they are.
Now, I'm going to give Chad Gable some flowers here for a second. That motherfucker put together one of the most beautiful German suplexes into that press.
On Otis, that shit was beautiful.
I can't remember what they call it.
Can't remember what they call it either. That boy was up in the air for a good minute.
Oh, my God, dude. Yes,
and you slowly saw him.
Methodic. Yes.
No struggle, just clean. Just
There's a reason Chad Gable gets compared to Kurt Angle so much.
Bro, it's like starting to resemble it more and more each week.
Like 100% cut from the same cloth. They're both Olympians. Like,
Vince fucked that up, man.
Yeah.
They had an opportunity to do something really special with Kurt Angle and Chad Gable, and it got fucked away.
But he fucking put Jordan. What was the name? What's his name?
Jason
Jordan as the legitimate son of Kurt Angle because they started making.
To be fair, to be completely fair, as silly as that idea was on the surface for a lot of reasons, lest we forget, Jason Jordan was incredibly fucking talented.
Oh yeah, bro.
Jason Jordan was every bit as good, in my opinion, as Chad Gable was. And unfortunately, he's a guy whose career got cut short by injuries. You know, fuck off. Yeah. He's someone who broke his neck and couldn't come back.
That's true. That's true.
And, you know, in hindsight, I would have loved to see it be Chad Gable. I think the Kurt Angle comparisons definitely apply more with Chad Gable. But honestly, I can't fault them for taking that shot on Jason Jordan because I think it would have turned into something great. I
think it kind of turned out for the best. Now I'm thinking about it. It kind of turned out for the best.
But in 2025, man, let's get some spotlight on Chad Gable. And not like the one he got in 2024. Let's get some W's under his belt. Let's get a fucking championship around his waist.
Yeah, give that motherfucker the IC title and let's go from there.
Yeah, like, dude. Let's fucking rock and roll.
I'm even down for fucking tag team championship. And Shorty G could hold a world title.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
I don't think it's crazy at all. I think they should do it. Like, I don't think 2025 is the year, just because of everything we've got working right now, unless you do it after SummerSlam, which that could work, but they've got a lot of work to do before you can get to that point.
I will say, as cliche as it sounds, you never know what you're going to get in WWE. I mean,
you really don't.
Right now, and it always feels this way in this part of the year, we are going into, and it almost sounds like a bad thing, but I certainly don't mean it that way, but we're heading into a really heavily choreographed part of the year where, all the pieces have to fall in the right places. We're going to start seeing how WrestleMania shaped up probably as early as Monday, but definitely by the Royal Rumble, which is coming a lot quicker than we think.
We're like in the second week of January right now, bro.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to really start seeing things shape up in a big, big way. And realistically, I think you're right in that sense. I don't think that WrestleMania has room for Chad Gable winning a major championship.
No.
Could be the Intercontinental Championship. Could be the United States Championship.
I think that is a smart move. I think it's also a safe move.
Yeah.
And I think two things about WrestleMania. Number one, never show your cards. And that means one of two. I mean, it means two of a few things, but like, number one, you got to play it safe, but also you got to be really ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's the right word. I think WrestleMania deserves everything you have at all times. And WrestleMania 40 was the epitome of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all gas, no brakes. The best WrestleMania I've ever watched, period. And I've watched quite a few. Not live, but I've watched quite a few just bored,
Yeah.
And the idea of giving Chad Gable the Intercontinental Championship, man, I like it. I don't know how else to say it. I like it because he earned it last year.
It's overdue.
He earned it last year leading up to Mania, he had Gunther beat more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And then they gave it to Sammy, and I was like, man, fuck. I just felt like they should have just gave it to Gable at Mania and called it a day instead of letting Sammy beat Gunther. Like, Gable earned that shit. So
I think that's exactly what I meant when I was talking about how Mania season a lot of times feels really highly choreographed.
Yeah.
It's really, I like that idea. Gable would be a great Money in the Bank winner.
Gable is like the perfect guy to be
seriously.
A Money in the Bank
that really
winner.
is a good
idea.
idea.
Really is.
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea.
But that whole situation that you just described, what that really reeked of to me was them having a plan and sticking to it. They chose,
and like the crowd didn't get behind it enough for them to change it, which I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. As a fan, I get that because last year was a perfect example of the fans choosing the outcome.
We want Cody.
Exactly.
Did y'all know he finished the story?
Dude, did he?
Yeah. I don't got that. I guess.
But like,
still,
you're 100% correct. Like, and we're all 100% correct. Like, if the fans get behind it enough, they're gonna pivot.
Mm-hmm.
We witnessed it last year. Like the WrestleMania kickoff in Vegas, that's where it started.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's where we found out that the fans do play a role in that decision-making process.
Yep.
Because Cody had gone off path and he was going to delay it for God knows how long. And then all that we want Cody shit and Cody crybabies and everything.
Cody crybabies.
They
fucking hard.
No, let's go back. We're doing this. And it's worked. I'm not saying that Cody's had the most like iconic title reign.
I don't think that's his fault, though.
That's not his fault. Cody's done everything he could.
I've said
given
it before.
the circumstance.
I think the biggest. problem with Cody's title run is just okay. So you take what 2.5 years of building Cody up as being the guy.
Don't even go 2.5 years, because yes, I understand what you're saying. You could go as far back as that Hell in a Cell match.
Yeah.
Start it there. I'm not starting it there.
Yeah.
I'm starting it Raw after Mania 39.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to have that tag match with Brock Lesnar. And Brock turned on him. That to me was where they fucked up. Because he lost to Roman at Mania on Sunday. Monday night, Brock Lesnar says, "Oh, I'll be your tag team partner."
Not.
I'm going to fuck you up. And then they have a 3-match series, and Cody goes 2-1 in that. And then it just goes on. And the list in that 365-day span, the feuds were fucking amazing.
Yeah. And
it's hard to beat that.
Yes. So
Cody's build is so much bigger than anybody else's build. John Cena didn't have a build like that ever. And they call him the GOAT.
Yeah, I mean,
they call him the GOAT, but he'd never had to go Brock 3 in a row. Somebody else.
And point being,
and do it for 12 months, and then without a championship. Without a championship the whole time. What's the longest time period that after John Cena won his first title that he went without a championship reign? Legitimately.
Honestly,
maybe 6 months?
The longest time that he went off the top of my head was a little bit longer than 6 months, but the reason was because he was out with injury.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
He's a top guy without having a title.
Yeah. And to my point, I think that pretty much perfectly illustrates why Cody's run has felt a little bit underwhelming, because you build a guy up that much.
Exactly, 100%. I'm immaculately said.
You have to build up somebody to be the opposition. What is a hero without the villain? And Cody doesn't have that level of opposition. I mean, every title match that Cody has had over the past 9 months has just felt like,
Yeah. But how the fuck do you go from 2 nights in a row Roman Reigns to anything else?
I tell you how, and this is the only guess I have, and I don't have a name to put to it. If you ask me, at this juncture, you know how you end Cody's title reign?
Randy fucking Orton.
Suddenly.
Very.
You have somebody beat Cody in a match that defies our expectations. Every match so far has made me think there's no way Cody's dropping this title.
No.
All right.
So here's my opinion. You could go about this multiple different ways. I don't really give a shit how you do it, who you do it with. Doesn't matter. Cody's title reign has to end sometime this year, in my opinion. It's not that it's been lackluster, but I'm ready for a change. I love Cody. I'm a Cody crybaby till the day I die. We got to do something new.
Yeah.
Cody needs to get cashed in on with Money in the Bank, probably the night of Money in the Bank.
Yep. Exactly.
And I'm okay with saying that. And it needs to be a successful cash in, and it needs to be somebody who is deserving of that title. I don't care if it's Drew McIntyre. I don't care if it's Kevin Owens. I don't care if it's Shorty G. I don't care if it's Sami Zayn. I don't care if it's Jey Uso. I don't care if it's LA Knight. I don't give a fuck if it's Logan fucking Paul.
Okay, I care.
Come on, I can't.
No, I can be okay with it. I can be okay with it. Because
I don't care if it's Dirty Dom.
I don't care if it's Dirty Dom. It could be fucking Xavier Woods. I think I would like to see Drew McIntyre personally. Brad has a good point. Brad says, let Owens have the title. I don't disagree. I think that's a great move.
Yeah.
Fucking do it.
No, I'm with you in the sense that, like, the person who takes it at this point, and I mean, there's wrong answers. Don't get me wrong.
There are wrong answers.
There are people they could give this title to that it wouldn't fucking amount to shit. But narratively speaking, again, what I think needs to happen is somebody needs to take this title in a way that they catch a bunch of fucking heat for it. And what better way to catch a bunch of fucking heat than to find every single person's expectations?
Kevin Owens.
Man,
nobody expects KO to win at the Rumble. I'm going to use that example because I think it's a good one.
I was about to say the same thing. Honest to God, this match at the Rumble is a perfect time for KO to slap some handcuffs on Cody, beat the shit out of him, climb the fucking ladder, take the belts, and walk the fuck out.
Because that adds legitimacy to Kevin Owens.
And then he has the golden whatever.
Yeah,
the golden title.
Adds legitimacy to KO.
And that is some fucking heat.
Yep. Adds legitimacy to KO, which he desperately
the double wing golden title.
It makes Cody's title reign and his story, no pun intended,
legitimate,
a lot more interesting. It gets people watching. It doesn't feel like they're spinning the wheels. Again, it's not that I'm rooting for Cody to lose, but we need something to spice this shit up.
Because right now he's just going in motion of like
they got to do something about it because it's like you said, they're just spinning wheels. They're sandbagging this. I don't know what they're putting it off for, you know. So why not? What's it gonna do? It's nothing. It's not gonna do anything but legitimize both of them. And it's really going to legitimize KO, and KO definitely needs that right now.
I feel like it needs to be KO after we're talking. I didn't jump into it. I didn't think about it.
Like,
but
I'm not saying KO hasn't won any matches, but KO hasn't had a legitimate W since WrestleMania 39.
Yeah, and he kept on getting screwed by the bloodline every single time.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
Now Drew McIntyre screws Cody, and then KO wins.
But since we're here, I would be remiss not to bring up what is the prevalent rumor right now regarding Cody and regarding where we're going with this. I read a rumor today, and I didn't just read it today. I've been reading it for a few days now, but I still read it today. It seems to be popping up a lot that apparently Cody is really pushing for a match with John Cena at WrestleMania.
Saw that.
I see that today.
I saw that too.
Now, to me, that's a little tricky because everything we just said, kind of throw it in the trash if it's John Cena. But
Legit.
It kind of takes it in a different direction, which I think could be interesting. So
that's one thing we haven't talked about, though, at all. And you really have to take it into consideration, considering what starts on Monday. And I'm not talking about Raw on Netflix.
Farewell
last
tour.
time is now. It's the farewell tour. It starts on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
It starts on Monday, and he is going to be at every fucking pay-per-view this year. They've already said
he can have a buzz cut.
It's going to be his last everything. No, he's going to keep that shit covered up.
Yeah,
I heard he's going in with a buzz cut, but
he should go with a buzz cut. I'd like that, but
anyway, he needs to fucking admit it. But
like, it's going to be a legitimate curveball.
Yeah,
because you have to think about a couple of things. He is currently tied with Ric Flair for World Heavyweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
You have to break.
He's gonna break it because Ric Flair
is a good
record. Name.
He's gonna break.
Ric Flair doesn't have a good name in WWE.
Which title is he gonna take? He's not gonna take the one that he didn't really give a shit about. The title that Cena always held was the spinner, was the WWE Championship.
Cody's.
That is the whole thing and I fucking hate it. I don't like it because it's just throwing a wrench in everything else, and I don't like that. That is the only reason that I think John Cena has a chance to win the Royal Rumble. If he doesn't win the Royal Rumble, he definitely either wins the Elimination Chamber match or Money in the Bank.
Yeah, well, let me tell you why I do like it.
With it being John Cena, they're going to give him either the Rumble or the Chamber.
And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. My guess.
WrestleMania.
And Step Brothers audience, remember me saying this. Remember me saying
Take notes, motherfuckers.
Let me say, I think two things are at play here. And what I will say, Brad, in regards to what you're saying, because I'm thinking a little bit differently. I don't think you're wrong by any means.
I don't think you're wrong, but I don't think you're right either.
Well, I don't think he's wrong, but I think Triple H is going to do it And I have two big reasons for it. Number one,
Which is going to do it.
paramount. Big, most important reason. Ever since Triple H took over, we've seen one thing happen very, very consistently. Records are being broken.
They get broken every show, every pay-per-view, every PLE.
Well, I don't even mean those records. Usos, longest reigning tag team champions ever. Gunther, longest reigning Intercontinental champion ever. Roman Reigns, longest reigning champion since fucking Pedro Morales in like the 80s.
John Cena, most fucking world title reigns ever.
See,
why not?
And you're forgetting a big one. You're forgetting a big one. As of right now, there is one man ever who has won 3 Royal Rumbles, and that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. John Cena has won 2 Royal Rumbles. Think about it.
Hate you. No, I'm joking.
Yeah, here's the problem, though. Here's the only problem I have with that theory. Cena cannot break the record.
He doesn't break the record, but he changes the record. He changes the record. And the thing is,
I think they let Stone Cold keep that one, honestly.
I feel very two ways about it. And the reason I say that they would be willing to tie but not break the record, because breaking the record would be unfeasible. But tying the record, it adds Cena's name to the list. It modifies the record. It puts it back in spotlight. But unlike Ric Flair, Stone Cold is beloved, will always be beloved. Doesn't matter what he does. His legacy at this point is untouchable. Unless he fucking Chris Benoit somebody. Stone Cold.
Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, there it goes.
He all complains about us doing it, but look at him.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew we were going to.
That's what we call a hypocriticizer, guys. Fucking hypocriticizer.
Shut the fuck up.
But
hypocriticizer.
With that being said, okay, my main point that I was going to make with this whole thing.
Before you said Chris Benoit.
If John Cena wins the title from Cody, yes, it negates everything that we just spent a good 10, 15 minutes talking about with what they can do with this title. But what it does, it adds another layer to Cody.
It makes it interesting.
Because you got to wonder, where does Cody stand? Because you got John Cena versus the guy who took John Cena's spot.
Yeah, it's like he's handing off the reins real quick.
Let me throw in some fantasy booking.
Okay.
Let me throw in some fantasy booking. Oh my God.
I love fantasy booking.
This is the greatest fantasy booking I've ever thought of ever. Okay. Cena wins the Rumble. Cena takes the title at Mania. Randy Orton takes it.
You cut
not necessarily. Oh, damn it. Okay. So Cena wins the Rumble, wins the title. Randy Orton. And we get to revisit one of the greatest feuds of all time.
I don't see any reason.
Randy Orton and John Cena. And
it should happen.
Then it gets better. Randy wins. And then we get Randy versus Cody. That's how we get Randy versus Cody.
We finally get that.
I have been begging Odin for Randy versus Cody for a year now. I want it so fucking bad. I want it so bad. Because it's fucking perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Do we get babyface Cody or heel Randy Orton? Or opposite?
You get face Cody, heel Randy.
Okay.
Heel Randy is the best heel ever.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking punk kick the motherfucker, bro.
Randy is no doubt a future Hall of Famer. And I personally think that before Randy retires, he deserves to break the record that John Cena is going to break this year.
Oh, that'd be cool, too. Before he retires. Tying it would be tight. Tying it would be tight.
I am fuck Cody Rhodes. I am a fucking Randy Orton fucking lover. I love Randy Orton so much. Always have. Always have. I'm fucking being a little bitch about this right now. I fucking love Randy. Yeah, just fucking.
I love it, bro. Yeah. I love him too. Shit.
I want it. I want that so bad. And then I would even pay good money for. I think it'd be even better because it never happens. Let Randy be the face and let Cody be the fucking heel.
That's what I want to see.
It's not going to happen in 2025. It could happen in 2026. And now we're getting a little ahead of ourselves. It's fucking January 3rd. But I think that's the perfect way to set up like 12-month schedule. Like we're 3 weeks from the Rumble.
Yep.
We're 4 weeks from the Rumble. We're a month away.
Yeah.
Let John Cena win that motherfucker. 2 months later, let him win at WrestleMania. 2 months after that, let Randy take that belt from him. You're in the second part of the year at that point.
Yeah.
Just about. Then let him and Cody start feuding. And let it slow burn. Do a couple of bullshit feuds with who the fuck ever. And let Cody work with Randy, man. Oh my God, it'd be so fucking good. Because I personally think when Randy comes back from this current injury, he's not going to be a face anymore. And I don't want him to be because I'm tired of babyface Randy.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah, he might join KO and freaking Drew.
Now,
say that again.
He might join what I'm saying.
He
might join Drew and
that'd
freaking
be a
KO.
fucking faction, bro.
Yeah.
That
Drew
would
and
be
KO.
a fucking faction.
The Bloodline haters.
Now let me just say, we're getting a little
Brad, I
off
hope you're
track
wrong,
here.
but I know you're right.
We're getting a little off track here, and I'm going to get us back on track by taking a brief message from our sponsors. Ladies and gentlemen, this is just a brief reminder that the Step Brothers Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by Hot Dogs.
Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
What?
Their food. Now,
where hot dogs come from.
With that being said, we're getting a little carried away with the fantasy booking, and quite frankly, we don't know what the fuck is coming because we are about to really venture off into uncharted waters. Now, Brad, I like both points that you bring up. And let me just say,
Brad has a good point here, but that is not the title that Cena really ever held. He held it a couple of times, don't get me wrong, but that's not the title that means shit to Cena. He always held the WWE Championship.
But, okay, let's take a step back for just a second because you're assuming that they're going to tell us that matters. You know what I mean?
I think it would make more sense for him to beat Gunther just because of who Gunther is, and
I think
why
there's an
he
argument,
doesn't like John Cena.
I think there's an argument to be had that John Cena beating Gunther and winning that title could give that title the oomph that it needs, being the brand new title that hasn't existed in its current iteration for very long. Beef up that lineage. I think that there's merit to that. I think that that's a really good idea. I'm speaking strictly on the rumors right now on having him face John Cena, but from a fan standpoint, I like him fighting Gunther a lot more than I like him fighting Cody. I feel like realistically, they've got this title and they've got Cody so wrapped up in a bunch of things. And I think next Monday on Raw, we're going to find out that The Rock still has some fucking business to tend to. Now, it's easy to say that The Rock is going to show up. He wants to be involved in tribal combat. His return is going to be about the bloodline. Sure. That's not a stretch of the imagination to think. But lest we forget, The Rock whispered something in Cody's ear to say to Cody Rhodes. And I'm not willing to say just yet that all that's over.
I agree.
They did that for a reason, and I don't think that we're supposed to forget about that. But I don't know. I really don't know.
So we went off on a 20-minute tangent. And Brad, you have a fucking amazing point. Rollins did work his ass off to make that title legitimate.
Oh, yeah. No, they've realistically –
the workhorse, baby.
What they've done with that championship, they've done great things. I don't want to diminish the work that they've put in because from my perspective, it's not the B title. It's a fucking excellently booked world title, and I love what they've done with it.
I can understand. I can understand what Brad is saying because I don't feel like Gunther defends it as much, which he doesn't. And there's
green time.
Excuse me, cancer.
Green zone.
There's a reason for that, and that's because of how they built Gunther as the Intercontinental champion. Sorry, and they've got to keep that same kind of momentum going with this world title.
Well, more simply,
Now,
Gunther's a heel.
Gunther is a heel.
Rollins, his whole shtick is being the workhorse, the fighting champion. We've seen that for a very, very long time. When he held mid-card titles, he defended it every week.
Gunther's whole shtick is you're not worthy.
Yeah, and to me, it has to feel like a big deal when Gunther defends his title. I can appreciate that, but I don't know. It's a lot to take in. And again, we're going on tangents about stuff that we really don't fucking understand. It's all fantasy at this point. It's all fantasy. But
so let's get back on track. We're gonna run through some shit real fast. Juice me up, buddy.
All right.
So we'll finish out Raw real fast. We had the 2 women's Intercontinental qualifier matches in the semifinals.
This went just the way I thought it would, if I'm being honest. The way I hoped it would.
Yeah, we really.
As much as I love Io, and Io's having a career year.
Fucking love Io.
Io 2024 was Io's year, man.
Io's on fire, and I think 2025 might be even better. But
we could.
She realistically, to me, was not going to win the Intercontinental title because
she was there to put her over. She was there to put freaking Lyra over.
She was there to put Lyra over.
Yeah, because I feel like Io is too big for that title at this point.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like making her the first champion would have just been like, well,
great.
It would have hurt it more than it helped it.
You put one of the few women that's qualified to win the world championship. That's the first Intercontinental.
Love that.
She's tripping, dude. She's a
zoomies. That's what we call zoomies.
Yep.
Dakota Kai beat Zoe Stark in a great match.
Yeah, and Zoe,
which is what needed to happen. Dakota deserves it.
Yes.
I don't want Dakota to win. I think Dakota does win.
Mm-hmm.
She's not my choice.
She is mine.
Only because. I understand that and I respect that. I'm behind Lyra right now. However, I know that Dakota is the better choice because, in my opinion, Lyra is about to get the push of her career.
Yeah.
This year.
Her in the world title.
Probably gonna win Money in the Bank.
She's perfect for that.
That makes sense.
She's perfect for Money in the Bank.
Perfect for Money in the
Bank. It all makes sense because she just beat a champion in Io, so then put her in that position.
She beat a champion in Io. She gave Nia Jax one hell of a match at Queen of the Ring.
Mm-hmm.
She almost won Money in the Bank, if I remember correctly. Was that right? Was she in Money in the Bank?
I don't remember that.
She was not. It was, but the Queen of the Ring tournament was amazing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Her match in Saudi at Queen of the Ring was probably the best match Nia's had in her reign.
Yeah.
And her title reign.
And it's the best way to lead 2 roads in a positive way.
I agree.
You got Dakota as a champion, and then you got Lyra as going towards a world champion. So you don't lose.
Yeah. I mean, Nia will, or not Nia, Lyra will have her time. Yes. I think she's got plenty of it. However, Dakota Kai, she's been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm. With her injury.
NXT Tag Team Champion, Women's Tag Team Champion. Was she the Women's Champion in NXT for a little bit?
I want to say no.
I think you're right.
I want to say
but
no.
I think this is the perfect way to give her flowers. She has worked and she's gotten past these injuries and she's been loyal and she's always come back home. Like she never left. Like she's dealt with injuries and that sucks.
And she's done a damn good job in her role in
she has.
I do believe Alexa Bliss is coming back. That's been heavily rumored.
Supposed to come back, and that's supposed to happen soon.
So Alexa is one of 3 really big women's returns we're expecting, probably early this year.
I missed that girl,
man. At the Rumble. I think she will return at the Rumble.
It has to be Rumble.
I think there's 3 big returns, and I think all 3 of them happen at the Rumble.
On one hand, I would agree with you, but the only reason I think they have to split them up. They have to because At that point, each one diminishes the other one.
Yeah.
Somebody's coming back at the Rumble, though. I don't know who it is. It could be.
I think
2
we
or
get
3 of them.
2 at the Rumble. I think we get 2 at the Rumble, and I think it's going to be Alexa and Becky.
Yeah.
And Charlotte shows up on a random
Netflix.
Raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of them, you know what? I just thought about this. I read something a couple weeks ago that Becky is actually set to return at Raw on Monday.
I was going to say, that was just about to say that.
And then you got Charlotte at Rumble.
I could see that happening. And then Charlotte and Alexa come back at Rumble. And Charlotte is supposed to come back with this new, like, super dark fucking heel.
Queen. Asuka. I forgot about Asuka, too.
Asuka is not due to come back yet.
Yeah, I think she'd be chilling. I think she's chilling for now.
Asuka is going to be out for a couple more months, and so is Shotzi.
Yeah,
I forgot about Shotzi.
Shotzi is going to come back around the same time as Ilya Dragunov, which is probably right before Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
June. That's my guess there.
Yeah,
but Charlotte's an amazing heel.
Mm-hmm.
She's probably the best female heel. From what I've read, she is going to come back as this just fucking hail Satan bitch, and
Dark Queen.
Yeah, dude.
I like
Satan Queen. I think it was Satan Queen or some shit.
But let's get back on track. We're running short on time here. So, women's Intercontinental title matches. Dakota and Lyra advance to the finals. We get that match not this coming Monday on Netflix, but the week after.
It's going to be a great match. I'm here for
that. Is going to be a fucking amazing match. I hope it's the main event, honestly. And if it's not the main event, it better be like closing out the first hour.
Yeah.
But I think it should be the main event.
I agree.
We had the War Raiders and Damian Priest versus the Judgment Day, JD, Finn, and Dom. Of course, true Judgment Day fashion, this match had fuckery. It had interference. Good match.
It had a new song.
It was shitty.
A lot of new music. I don't know how I feel about it, but
I'm trying to get ready for Netflix or something like that. I don't know.
I want Damian to move on.
Using that production group, and they've started actually using music.
Yeah, I want Damian to move on. That's really all I have.
I'm ready for Damian to move on.
What they're doing is
I will
fine.
say this.
I'm cool with his alliance with the War Raiders. I think that kind of helps them.
I really liked this. They worked well as a cohesive unit. I was very happy with the way they worked together. There was no miscommunication. They were just cohesive.
They look like a bunch
War
of
Raiders and Damian got the win.
Yeah, a metal band.
Yeah,
it looked like some country ass white boys and some random Puerto Rican formed this weird metal band. And they don't really know their identity because 2 of them wear red and black and one of them wears purple and black. So who's the odd man out?
Yeah,
true.
I'm going to go with the bisexual Undertaker on that one.
Yeah, that's his name.
They're definitely going to let him bleed, Brad. They're definitely going to let him bleed. Obviously we've gotten that recently since that last producer got let go or left.
Fucking
like 6 months
Beaver,
ago.
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah.
Kevin Dunn,
definitely going to be bleeding on this.
I
think it's probably going to be a little
cuts,
bit more, honestly. Yeah. I think it'll be a little bit more bloody than we're used to.
But not as bloody as fucking AEW, because that's just stupid.
No, it's too much.
Yeah.
So War Raiders and Damian get the win in that match. Because I think the Judgment Day's fixing to blow up. Finn's fixing to throw something in somebody's face.
Mm-hmm.
Ludwig was cutting a promo, got interrupted by Shamo.
Fucking European bastards.
Shamo whooped that fucking ass, country style. And then we had the fucking promo of the fucking week. We had the promo of the week. And
promo of the fucking century, dude.
I don't know about century, but goddamn, definitely the last decade.
Dude.
It was fire.
Fuck around. The shots that these two fired off at one another.
They're personal, bro.
Blew me away.
It had to be
Not
off.
only was
Let me
it
just say
It
personal,
had to be
but they
scripted, but it had to
fucking-
be kind of off scripted.
Let me just say
no,
one
I
thing.
read something that was 100% not scripted.
Oh my god, I can believe it. I
But
can
I will
believe
say
I
it.
believe
one
it
thing.
too.
I will say
Because at
one
one point, Seth was all like, "Watch your mouth." Whenever CM Punk was all like, "And you're his favorite," or some shit like that.
This
He was
could
like,
have
"Watch your
been
mouth." I was
the
like,
most
"Oh."
unscripted work shoot thing in the world. But if I can be realistic, these two had to at least talk about it in private because there
Oh, they
ain't
had to.
no fucking way.
But hey, how far can we go with each other? That
Hey.
had to be discussed.
There ain't no fucking way that Seth Rollins brought up Colt Cabana unscripted like that
On
to
this
Punk.
podcast.
Yeah. There ain't no way he just brought that up without clearing it with Punk. Because we saw when Punk was in fucking AEW what bringing that man up can cause him to do. And we didn't
That's
see
Jack
Punk go
Perry.
on a media scrum after Raw and fucking start throwing a fit.
That's
So,
Jack Perry.
I think that they look, regardless, these two made fucking beautiful work together.
That's firework.
And
That's beautiful.
I am more invested in this match than I was
Beautiful.
before. And let me tell you, I've been looking forward to this match for over a year now.
It saddens me that this episode of Raw coming up on Monday is only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, can you
I think
imagine
90
about
minutes
this
is what
for a
they said,
second?
really.
No, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be about 90 minutes of TV time because they're gonna have ads. Now, I pay too much for Netflix. I won't have ads. I'm sure there will be some kind of ads, but still, it's gonna be annoying. Like, it's gonna be so fucking jam packed with everything. We got Seth and Punk, Roman and Solo. We've got there's oh my god, there's another big match that I can't fucking remember at this point. Like it's gonna be
I can't remember.
there's
either.
2 main events to this show. I don't know how they're gonna split it up.
Yeah, how do you follow either of those things?
No, you don't. You don't.
In my
So-
opinion,
Right? What is it, you know?
in my opinion, has to be Tribal Combat.
Has to be trouble.
Oh, that's
Right? It has
that's
to.
the main event. Yeah,
It has
that's
to be
the
main event.
I would almost because we talk about this a lot because it pissed me off. Cody and Owens is at the Rumble,
Mm-hmm.
Brad, which I thought they said that it was going to be on Monday, but it's not.
Yeah, it's the
Yeah.
Or,
It's
no,
definitely at
originally,
the Rumble.
originally I thought it was going to be at Saturday night's main event,
right.
but it's going to be at the Rumble.
Right.
Excuse me. So I would say almost inevitable. You have to open with Punk and Rollins.
That'd be a way to get it fucking started, that's for sure.
We talk about this all the time because
Gotta get the
I
blood
bitch about
flowing.
it, and I still bitch about it. When we went to the Rumble in 23 in San Antonio, they
Mhm.
opened with their men's Rumble, and it
Weird
pissed
choice.
me off so fucking bad. It pissed me off so fucking bad. But you explained it very well to me, and I understand it now, so I don't get mad about it anymore. If you're going to main event with what you're going to main event with, your next biggest thing has to be the thing you open with.
Yeah.
And at that point, it was Cody returning.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
we knew Cody was going to win the Rumble. Like, everybody knew that Cody was going to win the Rumble. The only person that stood a chance was Gunther. And he started at number 1 and finished second, you know? So it made sense. It makes sense to open with Punk and Rollins. I think that's personally the only way to open that show. And if you don't open with Punk and Rollins, you open with Tribal Combat. And I think that's wrong because we all know that there's going to be a shit ton of interference in that match, and The Rock is definitely coming back.
Yeah, that's the only reason it's not really up for debate in my head. And I think
Yep.
the whole point of opening with something strong kind of goes double for this Netflix debut, just because
Yep.
you really want to kick it off as strong.
You want to lock that crowd in
immediately.
immediately.
Yep.
Immediately.
The
You
real
wanna
question
lock that
is,
crowd in.
how do you squeeze in John Cena and all that?
I think that
Shows
you
up right in
squeeze,
the middle.
yeah, I think you squeeze John Cena in. Okay, so
What if The Rock can't make his
You
appearance
could
and they
almost
have him at the end?
open with John Cena You could open with John Cena. What I would do is I would open with Punk and Rollins. I would have Cena be a part of the interference in that last match. And you finish with The Rock. And it ends in a tie.
He helps Roman. Then Rock comes out for Solo.
So,
Punk, yeah.
I'm going to kind of liaison here because you just made me think of something. And I'm going to try to liaison between what happened on SmackDown and what's going to happen Monday on Raw. Because I think we got a little sprinkle of hint. And that was in Solo's promo with Paul Heyman. So I think he brought up an interesting point, almost kind of telegraphing the future a little bit. So
they do that.
What Solo proposed to me is very, very logical. It makes a ton of sense to have Paul Heyman hold the Ulafala. And Solo put it greatly. He's been involved with this family. He's never disrespected the Ulafala. I don't know that Solo is necessarily correct in trusting Paul to hand it over to him in the event that he beats Roman Reigns. Not that I think that's going to happen, but I think that plays in really well to The Rock coming out because, hell, who knows how Paul Heyman reacts to The Rock, especially The Rock wanting the Ulafala.
Bro, he had his phone. He had a Rock phone, and he had a Bloodline phone.
Yeah. And we're going to learn a lot about that on Monday because, as always, there's layers and layers and layers to this Bloodline shit.
Like a freaking onion, man.
And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we're all very surprised. Nah, I just said that twice. But, yeah, with how
I hope I'm surprised.
I think we really will be.
I know we will be. I don't have
any
doubt
be surprised.
in my mind that WWE is going to that Triple H is going to throw me for a fucking loop.
And I'm ready for it.
Fuck me. I'm ready for it, and I'm pumped for it.
I'm ready to be wrong about everything I've ever said.
The one thing that I will say
from multiple sources that this Raw is going to be billed as a WrestleMania show.
I read that for like the last month. Probably it's supposed to be like that.
The two biggest matches are WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, you got Rollins, Seth,
and they will probably repeat at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But the one thing I will say about Monday. And I know we're all thinking it, but we can't exactly telegraph it yet. When Monday Night Raw is over, Monday night, we're going to have a lot better of an idea of what's coming in WrestleMania.
That's crazy to say, but you're 100% correct because this Raw is going to set up the next 4 to 6 months.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. At least for a lot of the people involved. I think that we're going to find out more about Punk's favor pretty soon too. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Man, really, what is that favor?
I don't think that fits into Monday. I think that we've got a bit of a ways to go. I think Punk's going to be a little bit preoccupied, but I do think we find out by WrestleMania.
I think we find out what Punk's favor is by Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
At the very latest, Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So at this point, and this is my thinking, by the end of Monday Night Raw this week, we're going to know what's going to happen on WrestleMania Night 1 and 2 as far as Roman, The Rock, and Solo go.
Yeah.
My opinion on that is I don't know what the end result of Monday Night Raw is going to be. I think what's going to happen with Mania is Night 1, it's going to be Roman versus Solo. Winner gets Night 2 versus The Rock, or The Rock gets winner on Night 2, and it's going to be Rock and Roman. And that's how we get Rock and Roman. I think that's how they settle this thing.
I don't think they drag out Roman and Solo this long. I have my own thoughts, but I think regardless of what happens between The Rock and Roman Reigns, I think we're knocking Solo out of contention for being the tribal chief. I think the Ulafala is still going to be up in the air, but I don't think it's going to be around Solo's neck anymore. And I think the direction we're headed with Solo more so pertains to the fact that nobody's going to love him without that fucking thing around his neck.
Bro, if The Rock comes out and makes Paul Heyman put her on his neck?
That's exactly what I think is going to happen. That's 110% what I think is going to happen.
So, personally, here's my thought process. I think Roman wins on Monday.
100% Roman wins on Monday.
And
that's why Solo and the New Bloodline won tonight.
As Paul is putting the Ulafala on Roman, The Rock.
If you smell.
No, I think we're past that already. So I think The Rock is actually in the ring. And I think The Rock grabs Paul Heyman's hand and just.
I feel like Jacob helps him.
Shit.
Man, I could see that.
If it happens, then Jacob helps him.
Suffice it to say, there's a lot of fucking ways they can go.
You can go so many ways.
There's so many ways.
I'm
That's why I
looking
love
forward
fantasy
to watching
booking,
it
man.
unfold before my eyes. I'm so excited for Monday Night's Raw. I almost don't want to go to work on Monday because I just want to stay home and get ready for it.
Yep.
But so let's move on.
We gonna get into SmackDown?
We're gonna run through it real fast.
Well, let me just say before we get to running into things, folks, if you've been paying attention to SmackDown for the past couple of months, I personally feel like it's been dragging. I had a conversation with Mike last week. We decided to take last week off despite the fact that we thought about doing the podcast. I told Mike when he asked me if I wanted to do it, I said, well, let's wait and see, because I didn't have high expectations for SmackDown. And
yes, we want to do it, but
they
have material.
They've set the bar, in my opinion, pretty low. And I feel like, we use this phrase a lot here on the Step Brothers Wrestling podcast, but I feel like SmackDown has been a whole lot of wheel spinning.
A lot of sandbagging.
Yeah. And I think tonight, this is how I'll open up tonight and preface it. I think tonight we learned just how much they've been spinning the wheels, because tonight, the first 3-hour SmackDown
was fucking gas.
The tires finally hit the road.
Yep.
Dude, the fucking wheel spinning was done. We
grabbed traction.
We popped a wheelie for about 100 feet.
Yep.
And we kept going through that fucking 8th mile. And we
now we're still
10 seconds. And man, what a great first 3-hour SmackDown.
All gas, no Pepto.
All gas, no Pepto, baby. So we start the night off. Cody Rhodes comes out. He starts cutting a promo. Gets interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Bless you.
Which surprise and a welcome one.
I was too. It was a
DM Hunk, baby.
DM Hunk, baby. He's coming to SmackDown, whether y'all want to believe it or not.
It's good. It's good, in my opinion, to have Drew McIntyre move on from what he's been doing. He had that amazing feud with CM Punk.
Feud of the year, bro.
But he lost that feud. Feud. And
he's being a man about it.
It's time to move on. And it's time to move on to something that is still just as big.
Everybody needs to watch the fucking back, too.
Oh, yeah. That crooked fucking Scottish bastard. We'll come back to him a little bit more later. But yes, I like that promo. I like the message it sent. And I like that it adds more interest to whatever Cody's doing,
Mm-hmm.
I can appreciate that.
I agree. And the way it played out was really good. Drew told Cody to watch his back. Here's KO to whoop his ass. And we move into a match for a potential future United States Championship match. Shinsuke versus Andrade. And these guys, every time they get together, it's an instant classic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They put on good matches. We've got the King of Strong Style and El Idolo.
Yeah.
And
my one complaint is the fact that we keep putting Andrade in these spots only for him to lose.
I agree.
I've never necessarily been someone that was Andrade's biggest fan in the world. I'm a fan of his work. I think that he does well. I can't say I'm like a fucking mark for Andrade or anything like that. But, at this point, he needs to win something, because you're featuring him. You're giving him the spotlight. Hell, you're giving him a lot of title matches. But at a certain point, it becomes unbelievable to expect him to win.
Right.
Yep.
You need to win once.
Just like the Street Profits.
Yep.
It's just like the Street Profits.
It's just like Kevin Owens.
Yeah, and it's just like Kevin Owens. And for a long time, it was just like Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
So, and Chad Gable. So I think Andrade's time is coming, and I think it comes with a heel turn.
Yep.
And I think it happens around the same time that Charlotte comes back, because why not?
Yeah. Right. Why not?
Because it's perfect. It's perfect. Shinsuke gets the win.
Which, honestly, with him coming back, being a new champion, he probably needed the win more.
He needs the win. His character needs that win.
Right. Instead of beating LA Knight, he's beating freaking Andrade. I
follow that shit up with LA Knight coming out wanting his fucking gold back.
Looking good as ever, man. Promo.
Dude, God, he looks good. He fucking sounds good. That motherfucker has a golden tongue. He is one of the best on the fucking mic. Yeah. Cody Rhodes doesn't have shit.
He said, I'm going to smack you back to factory reset. He said, I'm going to smack you back to factory reset, and that's a fact of life. Yeah. That shit was gas, bro. I was like,
dude, it's always
getting
gas.
goosebumps.
When LA
so
picks
good.
up a microphone, it's always gas.
Yeah.
And it's been that way since we started the movement at Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
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 You'll never get me to stop.
We then followed into Michin versus Piper Niven.
Michin.
Whatever.
You
know, it was fine. It wasn't a bad match.
It's fine. It's whatever. Stuff like this begins to matter more when you have a mid-card title for these women to compete over.
And exactly. That's exactly what's happening. So.
And to that degree, I don't mind it happening because it doesn't feel pointless anymore.
Exactly.
And Michin is someone, she's a little bit different of a case than the people we were speaking of before. She is someone who gets consistent TV time. She does get more wins sprinkled in than the other people that we mentioned, but to this point, it's never amounted to anything. So I like to see, a little bit more direction for these mid-card women.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we have reason to expect it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Moving forward, I think Michin is definitely the one that takes that title off of Chelsea Green.
She should be.
Anyways.
That'd be right. That'd be good.
Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit.
I knew I put that in the notes.
We had that match with Naomi and Nia.
Which, okay. Hoo-wee, man. I didn't expect anything from this match.
Me neither. I thought
there was other things that happened before that. So my bad. Because Naomi had that video package and then other shit happened. So Paul Heyman comes out, cuts a fucking heater.
Oh yeah. Like only
cuts
Paul
a fucking heater. And then we roll into what we talked about earlier about Solo, wanting him to hold the Ula Fala. We've been there. Talked
only
about
adds more anticipation to one of the most anticipated matches.
Then we had DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns.
That was a really good match, honestly. I thought.
Man, it was. Here's the thing, though.
Well, usually those kind of matches are time fillers.
20 fucking years.
Yeah.
It was a time filler, but it was good.
That's what I'm saying. Usually those are like time filler matches, but that one was like you actually watched.
I have a brief addendum to add to this because I didn't think about this, and I never remembered this until tonight for some reason. But myself, along with our friend Zach and fucking Christian, we went to AEW. He's wrong. He's got a lot of things wrong with him that we won't get into. But
we're not going to talk about it.
In 2022, Zach, Christian, and I, we took a trip to Chicago. We went to AEW All Out. A lot of matches, a lot of stuff. What I didn't remember is there was a multi-man tag team match, and Motor City Machine Guns actually made a one-time appearance for AEW.
That's crazy.
So, I've seen them live, and I forgot about that until tonight for some reason. But that was cool. But yeah, the one thing I do want to comment on that I thought was really strange about this match is how much emphasis Corey Graves and Michael Cole put on Johnny Gargano being a fucking piece of shit. Basically, like, Tommaso Ciampa, he's angry right now, but Johnny Gargano, this is what he does. What the fuck?
I do
If
enjoy.
you think about it, Johnny hasn't had a heel run in a long time. He was in NXT the last time he was a heel, and it was very brief.
Mm-hmm.
And his heel run was against Ciampa.
Yep. Yep. I'm
It
excited
just
to see
makes
what
sense.
direction they take DIY. I mean, we saw Pretty Deadly and fucking Berto and Angel come out. They're a less exciting part of the tag team division, but I like the spirit of building everybody up. I like the spirit of building a division with a lot of competitors in it. Very often, in my opinion, in modern wrestling, tag team
Like the
wrestling,
little alliances merged
Yeah.
in.
tag team wrestling often takes a back seat in modern wrestling. And I'm a big fan to see the division being built up, even if
It's
it is
growing.
with several teams that I'm not super excited to see. But building a division around DIY and Motor City Machine Guns is a no-brainer in my opinion.
Yeah,
That's fucking awesome,
agreed.
man.
Agreed. So after that, then we roll into Candice and Nia conspire against Tiffy, and then we have the Nia versus Naomi match.
Boy, did I never predict that
Oh,
those
dude.
two conspiring would be followed up upon so quickly. So
Seriously,
I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna have to say I agree with Brad on this one. Naya's never been my favorite, and Naomi's never really done it for me either. So watching this
I
match,
agree.
I wasn't terribly excited because
I'm gonna give them women some credit though. It was a good match.
I will say, Naomi in a lot of ways, she's sneaky with the hits sometimes. She's never done enough great stuff that I'm consistently expecting greatness out of her. But every now and then she'll squeak out a really good match. And Nia, as fucking terrible as she used to be,
Bro, she didn't hurt nobody tonight.
yeah, as terrible as she
She
used
got
to
better.
be.
She
And
got
I'm
better.
not saying she's great now. She's no Charlotte Flair, Becky
Oh,
Lynch,
hell no.
but the improvement is noticeable. And she's
Right.
not
She
incredibly
got a little quicker.
anymore. And for what it was, this was a serviceable women's world championship match. Now, what ended up happening was not what I expected. And I don't have my phone on me, so I can't refer to exactly what we said. But, we have our group chat.
There's three things that I took away from SmackDown tonight. Number one, we have been getting sandbagged for the last 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. Bad.
Bad.
Number two, it is most definitely and indeed Tiffy time.
It is. Would you look at that?
It's
And number
officially
three-
Tiffy time.
It is officially Tiffy time. And number three, the most important that I hope nobody forgets, and I don't know how you could, is that Jacob Fatu really loves Solo.
I love you, Solo.
I love you, Solo. I'm so sick of that shit.
But man, let me just take a brief moment to say, like I said, I don't have my phone on me, so I can't quote directly, but they played us good with this women's
Bro.
session.
Fuck.
They got
really
me.
did.
They got me for
They
that
played
second.
us so good.
Because you
I was like, what are the odds of Tiffy cashing in? And then Copa's are like a lot. What would you say? I don't remember. You were like a
Pretty
ton.
good.
a lot.
Pretty good. There you go. A lot.
But-
And I truly believe that she would.
Me
It made
too.
perfect sense.
I
So
did.
They
And
fucking
then she came
played the
out.
shit out of us.
She did, and she came out and
Oh, Nia.
immediately just fucking broke my heart because she fell right in back to the same bullshit. She sided with Nia. She hit Naomi with the briefcase, and Nia kept the belt. And I was
Same
like,
old, same old.
I was like,
Same
well,
thing.
She
used
got
to.
back up and was like, "What are you doing, bitch?"
and Tiffany decided she had enough of that shit.
Shit, it's
Oh, man,
Tiffy
It
time.
made me so fucking happy, bro.
She
It
cashed
made
in
Me
that
too.
pretty pink fucking briefcase. Why is that a tongue twister? And she fucking took that title. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen, set your watches. Turn your time back tonight. It's not daylight savings time, but it's fucking Tiffy time.
Tiffy time.
Let
I
me
even
give
said
some
it. I was like,
flowers.
if Tiffy cashes in, I'm chugging a beer. And guess what happened?
Yeah.
I had to
Chug
chug
a
a
beer.
fucking beer.
So let me
I think
give
you were
some
going to chug
flowers.
the beer regardless. But
Yeah, but that's besides the point, guys. That's beside. It's
Let
Tiffy
me give
time,
some
and it was beer
flowers.
time.
These flowers are not necessarily overdue. However, I'm going to give some credit to Bianca Belair. She gave Nia Jax a fucking KOD tonight, and goddamn, She did it. They didn't botch that.
It is.
I don't know how she picked that motherfucker up. Because I'm sorry, I'm a big dude, and if a dude the size of Chad Gable picked my big ass up and fucking did that to me, the same scenario as Bianca Belair doing what she did to Nia Jax tonight. That's fucking amazing. That is fucking amazing.
Well, Bianca
Kudos
is
to Bianca. She's a bad motherfucker.
She is.
She is
she's a
freakishly
freak.
fucking strong. She's a bad bitch, and I do love Bianca Belair. She's great.
Yeah,
I'm ready for her to turn heel.
it's needed, and
It's
Gotta have
fucking
it soon.
overdue, man.
we'll talk
She's
about
been
it more later. I don't think it's really pertinent right now, but I think that time is coming, and I think it's coming soon. But yeah, we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But this was great. I want to say that. I think
Chicken got the fireworks and everything.
I think if the main event wasn't
Happy
what
for
the
her.
main event was, I think this segment should have main evented. But as we all know, as we talked about Raw on Netflix, as we talked about Royal Rumble 2023, it don't matter what's happening. If the bloodline's there, they're going on last.
Oh yeah.
And you
And
know,
if they're not going on last, they're going on first.
and we got a really good 6-man tag to wrap up the show. To nobody's surprise with the people involved. You got Tama Tonga, Jacob Fatu, Solo Sikoa versus
OG bloodline.
versus Tres Usos, and hell, we've seen this match in different variations many times.
The
Namely,
way they
Survivor
were
Series
announced
games.
as
Bro, even
Jimmy,
Lilia was fucking heating
Jay
tonight.
and Sammy,
Sammy
the
Uso,
Usos, that was fucking sick, bro.
Dude.
That was so sick. That made me so happy. That made me happy for Sammy.
yeah, dude. It makes
They
me
even
happy.
acknowledged it on announcing.
Yeah,
I'm saying. No,
but wrapping up what happened on SmackDown and leading into possibly the main point of the show. I can't say it was the main point of this show because we spent fucking half an hour talking about Cody Rhodes. But, Solo Sikoa and the Bloodline won this match. And honestly, I think that's that group's final victory together.
it is. Agreed.
I think the new Bloodline, as they've been known, I think is on its way to being over. And I'm interested to see what they do with Tama Tonga and Tongaloa. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be much.
It's sad to say, man. They brought him in they probably gave him a 1-year contract, and that was it.
They're older dudes who have been wrestling, and I mean they're super well known.
They got a chance though. They got the chance.
Yeah, and
Here's the
Tongaloa amounted to fucking goddamn shit, but Tama Tonga I think really proved that he is an entertainer to watch. He is a good wrestler, and
He comes and we're 50, and they put the Bloodline in the Hall of Fame. It's going to be all of them. It's going to be Jimmy. It's going to be Jay. It's going to be Sammy. It's going to be Solo. It's going to be Tama Tonga. It's going to be Tongaloa. It's going to be Jacob. It's going to be Roman. It's going to be Solo. It's going to be Paul. Paul's going to get his second fucking Hall of Fame ring right
and
there.
so is The Rock.
And so is The Rock. Rock's going to get a Hall of Fame ring from that too.
Yep.
And I think that's beautiful.
That's crazy.
And like,
we're talking about surpassing NWO, DX.
Yeah, I think there's an argument to be made that they already have.
Most
Yeah.
of those guys won't get 2 Hall of Fame rings,
No,
but all of them get 1 ring for the Bloodline.
I think
yeah.
Roman's going to get 3.
I think Roman will get 3.
I'm
Because
fucking
Roman will
nuts.
get one
One
for
for
the
Roman,
Bloodline,
one for the
one for
Bloodline.
Shield, and 1 for Roman.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy will get 2.
Yep.
The Usos will get 2.
Yep.
Jay might get 3.
I hope Jay gets 3. I really hope Jay gets 3.
Gets that world title
think
by
Jay
himself.
deserves
He
to
will. He gets the world title by himself. He'll be eating everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Eating to a city near you.
And I
You-
hope I'm proven wrong. I really hope I'm proven wrong, and all of them at least get 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have to, bro.
The only
There's
thing,
people out there with 2 that doesn't even
I'd-
make sense.
I hope they build Jimmy for a singles career, because otherwise Jimmy only gets 2.
Well, I mean, that's what you get when you walk around for a fucking year saying no yeet.
Yeah, agreed.
Sorry about you, motherfucker.
True.
I love Big Jim, though. But, man, despite everything that we've talked about tonight, despite all the shit that we've covered, I hate to say it, but I feel like we are leaving tonight with more questions than answers.
And I'm okay with that. Honestly,
Yeah.
that's my favorite part of being a fan. That's my favorite part of being a fan. I never want to know what's coming next.
Exactly. That's why I'm so
It makes
into
it more
everything,
fun
man.
to be a fan. Like, it's fun as fuck to sit here for an hour and a half with your buddies and dissect this shit and try and figure it out and to fantasy book it. But honestly, it's way more fun to be surprised.
Yeah. And if we're at a point when even Drew doesn't have anything crazy that he's predicting, that me and you are like, no. We know
That
we're
means we've done our job.
Like CM Punk coming back, like who? Like why would I say that? You know,
We're both mad. We're both still mad about that, Drew. We talked about that.
I'll never
recently.
forgive you for that.
I'm sorry. But Chicago. Once I knew he was gonna be there, I knew it.
I don't know if you've ever noticed that, but that dude almost got murdered.
Chicago.
Punk was like, "Get this motherfucker off of me."
I'm sure CM Punk smelled alcohol on that dude's breath fucking hardcore. It was like, oh, God.
He's like, this is not cool no more.
He's like,
I'm
"Hey,
straight edge.
Get this alcoholic off of me."
Because you know that dude only remembers that night from seeing it in videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Man,
Probably my best friend if I knew him.
if I may,
You may.
I think it's a good time to shut it down.
Let's wrap it
No, I
up.
thought you were gonna say something about Chris Benoit.
Nah, we already covered that twice, but
Oh yeah,
Chris
you're right.
Benoit.
Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. We'll end it with Chris Benoit. But
we are
folks,
sponsored by Hot Dogs.
hot
Their
dogs.
food.
Hot dog Henry.
But folks, I'm going to take a bold step right here, and I'm going to speak for all of us and say, we'll see you next week.
And welcome to the 2025 Step Brothers podcast.
Welcome to 2025. We're here. We're queer.
We're queer.
It's gonna get weird.
It's gonna get very, very weird.
Peace, y'all. Love you guys. Thanks for sticking around. Brad, thanks for being a team player. Love
Scissor
you.
me.